These few lines of Python code just pulled 6 months of Bitcoin candles from Kraken. Building trading automation as a software engineer, I can really see how AI coding tools, etc., really are taking on. But with the power that comes with these that is ever increasing, what I also see is that things can get quickly out of hand, especially if you're not quite an expert or you know quite a lot about algo trading, etc. So what I want to share with you today is illustrate how to use this little code I'm releasing for free open source and how to deal with market data. So we'll go through this notebook to illustrate how we get information, OHLCV data, order book stuff for futures. We'll also look into open interest, funding rates, important indicators. We'll go over spot, etc. So today we're dealing with market data. And for that, in the past, I've already talked about how to trade futures and spot, actively trade, links in the description for the videos. These were using notably the connectors that I've coded, so futures and spot connector. So we're not getting into the details of that. I just wanted to point out that behind the hood, you have all these connectors, etc. So that if you want to build on, you want to do your own automations, etc., you can feed that to a AI tool if you're used to using that to code. There's actually a good already solid base for you to work with. Okay, let's get right into it. So how to get this code, install it is very easy. It's free on our GitHub, etc. I'll let you look into the spot or futures video where I explain that a bit more in detail. I want to get right into the applications here. And you'll find all the details actually in an educational article that I've linked down below. So you can also read more in your own time about all of this. But I want to get to the practical stuff right now. So the first point I want to mention, we'll execute this cell, is here I'm creating my spot and futures instances from which you can see futures.getInstruments. So that's instantiating the connector. And I mentioned those connectors, but that's where you have all the calls of all the endpoints on Kraken. So canceling an order, placing an order, etc., is in there. But what we're doing today is the related to market data. So we'll look into this. Why am I telling you this? Is because market data is public. So on the contrary to what we did, for example, in futures, I'll show you here, where when we create the connector, we actually authenticate. We put our API keys, etc., because we need the authorizations to give to the code the authorizations to place or get information about our account. While public data is public, we don't need to authenticate. You can do it with authentication if you want, but it's not necessary. So that's why you see here in my example, we have spot.public and futures.public. Okay, the first example, the first use, we're looking into futures right now. I wanted to show you this get instruments. So that is not, it is market data, but this is more the bank of all the instruments you can trade, the futures instruments you can trade on Kraken with all their specificities. So I won't go into the details, but typically you can see tick size, contract size, a lot of information that might be required when you're doing an automation. Typically, I mentioned in the previous videos, but for example, we have some formatting. When you send an order and you're not allowed to put infinite digits, like a lot of digits. You have to have some round, some truncation, etc. So what the code already does all of this, but it fetches this information from this get instruments. So that's like your bank of specs of all the instruments that are on futures on Kraken. So I thought it was important to point that out. But maybe something that is more directed to what we really think of as market data is getting like ticker data. So there's a lot of things you can see: bid, ask, volume, all the general ticker data. So you can see typically what I did here, I put ticker equal futures get ticker. You can see that this is how the symbols are, the syntax of the symbols on Kraken, and typically you can find them also in this get instruments. So there you go here. So that's with ticker. Typically, if you could be computing your mid price or things like that to do your quantity conversion between quote currency and base currency. If you want to, for example, take the last price or compute the mid price, you can do it all through here. Very good. Something I wanted to illustrate as well is getting the order book. So you could have a look at the order book here of your instrument. So we're sticking to, I didn't mention, but we're doing BTC USD. Even if it's written USD, the collateral is USDC here when we're doing futures on Kraken. So there you go. But typically, you could then filter here. I show you just a little thing. Getting this order book like this gives you sort of the raw output from Kraken using this get order book here. So if I wanted to take just the ask, since this is a dictionary, I just do that here. Very good. And typically, maybe I want now the best ask and best bid in the automation might be important, etc. So I just wanted to illustrate this. For example, spreads might be interesting as well. I created a little helper here so we really get the spreads directly. That could be important for your automation if maybe you have some safeguards, if the spread is too large or things like that, part of your strategy, you have it here. So there you go. That's all order book stuff. Another thing we could be interested in is to fetch for your analysis or maybe even part of your strategy, how to get recent trades. And this can be done with Kraken's API. And I have this little get recent trades in the connector. So I'm illustrating, putting everything in, as you can see, maybe in a pandas data frame for easy viewing, easy manipulation. There you go. So probably the biggest representative of market data that we need generally if we want to backtest or compute indicators or things like that in our automations is OHLCV data. So open, high, low, close volume. So the representation of a candle. And very simple, I created this get OHLCV, which inside has some filtering, transforming the raw output to data frame. So we can then, you will see after we can select some start date, end date, so it makes it easier. There is a sort of batch size. You can't pull historical like a lot of candles at once. You have to do that in several batches if you have a big history. All of this is behind in the code. So here I'm just showing we are picking, we're sticking to BTC USDC pair, but you can change the time frame. So here I'm going for a daily one. You can see we're getting all these rows. Great. If I wanted to just pick from a starting date, you have those keyword parameters, arguments that you can add or not. So now we are only starting at that start date here. Or maybe we want a precise window in your automation. So that's why we also can do the end date. I've put that as an optional parameter. There you go. You see, I think here I should have said we did 1 day, but now I shifted to 1 hour. So now a 1 hour time frame, a candle representing a time span of 1 hour. So here 1 hour as well. Just by the way, just quickly to tell you as well that since the output is a pandas data frame, this OHLCV being a data frame, you can use all the cool stuff of pandas. So I just wanted to show you a quick example here where I'm actually saving in a CSV file, and it got saved here just as an example, but then that means you could also import instead of re-downloading everything. You use all the pandas good things to do that. And you can see here I'm doing pandas data frame, so pd.read CSV, and here I'm actually re-getting that exact same data here. Before I present these, what we call smart money indicators like open interest and funding rates, let me just say that if you don't have an account yet on Kraken and you would like to create one, I have a registration link down below that will give you 15 USDC worth of BTC. And also, if you do that, know that you're supporting this channel a lot because I'll be getting back some commissions at no cost to you. And this really helps me a lot into carry on creating all this open source content, free content, etc. So a big thank you if you do use that link. Last little thing, the registration link doesn't work if you have your VPN on. So to use it, you'll have to switch it off. Then you can log on to Kraken later with your VPN. There's no problem. Okay, so open interest and funding rate. This is something I find very cool. It's not always easy on Exchange to get this information. They don't always release it or whatever. But with Kraken, super easy. It's there. So open interest. Let's click. Let's see what we get. So what is this number? If you don't know, this is how much BTC worth of contract are still open at the moment, right now, at this time. So this is really an indication of the interest, the volume going on, all of that. So that's why we sometimes call it smart money indicator, etc. So that's that. Now, funding rates is another one. So let me actually run these so we get the numbers. So what does it mean? So maybe what I should tell you is that since we're doing futures, these are perpetual contracts. They never finish, never close. So there's no real reason actually mechanically that the futures price of Bitcoin would follow that of spot. They could completely diverge. Funding rate is the mechanism because there's no settling date, So funding rate is the mechanism to guarantee that this happens as best as possible. So funding rates every 8 hours, there is a payment happening to do that, to merge, to take back the price of futures to that of spot. And a positive funding rate means that the price currently, right now, is slightly above, the futures price is slightly above that of spot. And we say that therefore longs will pay shorts. So at the end of this 8-hour cycle, you will see that if you have a position open or etc., the margin notional value that you give to it, will be modified because of this funding rate. And you can see that Kraken also gives, so this is the funding rate for this 8-hour cycle and also gives a prediction of the next one. So if you want to use the current one, you can just do filter with the dictionary key. But my point also here is that this is current, but for funding rates, Kraken also gives an endpoint where you can get the historical funding rate. So quite a long history. And if I run this, we'll see it's roughly a year. I'm not exactly sure if it's a rolling window of 1 year or that was just the beginning where they started making this data available, checked a few symbols, and seems to be a 1 year all around. But that's it. You should see that I've also put that in a data frame and I put a few filtering things, but you can really use all the pandas tooling to filter whatever you need in your automation and strategy. Okay, we're getting to spot. So there's a few things that do change in spot. For example, you remember that's get instrument info that I had put at the beginning here. Well, the same kind of bank of specs of the symbols that you can trade are actually in an endpoint that is called the method I've called a get asset pairs, that the endpoint is called a bit like that. So that's why. So if you see here, there's a lot of pairs. I just put the length here just to show you there's a lot that you can trade on Kraken, but you can see same kind of thing. There's a lot of like cost pair decimals, as I'm telling you, all the rounding and truncation, etc. So if you need specs, tick size, there's a lot of stuff, but endpoint is this get asset pairs. I wanted you to know that. I think here just for fun, I did it on purpose to filter and do a loop of all the names so you could see the symbol name, which is different from futures. And there you go. So BTC is XBT USDC because we're doing here, the example is the pair BTC USDC. So I wanted to show you this, and you can see there's also USD as your quote currency. There's a lot of things on Kraken, but we'll be using the BTC USDC as our example. So same thing, there's also a get ticker. I just wanted to show you not exactly all the same information that you get out of here, but you can see here you have the ask, the bid, the mid, the last, some volume, etc. A lot of information. Same thing, actually how the endpoints are constructed and how the data is delivered is not exactly the same from futures and spot. So I'm not going into the details, but for example, if you looked at the code behind, there are differences, and I've tried to harmonize so that the calls look really similar. Anyway, so here I put a depth to just filter how far we go in the order book, and you see the list here, very good. We also have a get spreads to get all the spreads, get recent dates, very good. And finally, actually, OHLCV data. I'm going quite fast because we chatted quite a bit about futures, so I just thought the one thing I want to tell you about OHLCV on spot is that you only have a number of rows that you can get that go back in the past 720 candles. And that's just the way it is with Kraken. You can't go further back in the past. That's your maximum. But just by the way, if you need more for backtesting or whatever, just know that you can just use future data, because if any kind of automation tells you that with spot data is a very different a result then from futures, that means your strategy is overfitted, but really overfitted. So that's a huge red flag. Anyways, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, you can drop comments down below, ask on Discord, or look into overfitting if you're getting serious about automation. That's a super important topic you need to know about. Okay, we're done. Two important things. Don't forget the registration link if you want to create an account on Kraken. And if you ever need a software engineer, automation expert in crypto trading, etc., don't hesitate to contact me. Anyway, take care, happy trading, and see you soon.